If you're building a YouTube channel, a personal brand, or an online business, this is the episode that you didn't know you needed. These are the exact insights that top creators and 8-figure entrepreneurs just revealed behind closed doors.
The person with the most attention is going to win. It's not about the best product or service, it's about the most known.
The new rich are playing different games. They're not working for money, they're building leverage. The fastest executor wins. I've got the notes in front of me, and I'm going to be giving you the entire playbook today. I'm sitting here with Neel Dhingra, who is the founder of Forward Conference. This conference has been one of the fastest growing conferences for entrepreneurs. It happens every year in Las Vegas. And we have the top 20 takeaways. These are some fresh tactical insights for what's happening right now in online business. I personally was not able to attend this last year. So I was like, Neel, will you leak the best notes and the insider information? And could we talk about it on the Think Media podcast? And he agreed to do it. Neel, are you ready to go?
Yes, sir. This is good.
So Dan Martell was one of the speakers, and he said this: business is not about your idea. It's about your ability to distribute it. Distribution is the kingmaker. That sounds kind of fancy. Explain that to your average entrepreneur of like what that even means.
Yeah. So he talked about, hiring. He's, Buy Back Your Time is his book. And he talked about building the system. And one of the things, that got brought up throughout the event, and Dan leaned into this, was like, what's the thing, if you sat at a table with 10 of your competitors, what's the thing that they would be unwilling to do? And maybe it's like, dude, I'm going to hire somebody that's specifically going to blow up my YouTube channel, a YouTube strategist. Like, wait a second, you're not going to just get a social media person, you're going to also get a YouTube person.
Yeah.
So like he talked about revving up and reinvesting in distribution, because the person with the most attention is going to win, right? It's not about the best product or service, it's about the most known. And if you don't have attention, you're losing right now to people who do have that mic and that attention. And so you need this thing to be like a megaphone, and you need more distribution right now than ever.
And distribution practically means, are you putting out YouTube content? Or you could also be active on LinkedIn, any of these 7 social media platforms, your success in email marketing. It could be paid ads. It could be all kinds of different things. And so distribution is the kingmaker for any serious entrepreneur. We all could improve in this area. And how much money, courage, team do we want to put behind that? All right,
yeah,
number 2.
It might be just like a VA. Like,
sure,
just
the first step could be a VA.
Yeah, you're doing it by yourself. You post when you feel like it. Okay, I'm gonna start doing this more serious. I'm gonna hire $2,000 a month VA to make sure we post every day. Cool.
And like, I definitely probably 99 of your competitors out of 100 aren't going to take that step.
Correct.
So distribution is the kingmaker. Number 2, Cody Sanchez said this: the new rich are playing different games. They're not working for money. They're building leverage. Break it down.
So she talked about turning herself into a walking billboard. So I don't know if you know this, but I guess all the VC money that comes out, all this, billions of dollars that comes from venture capital into businesses, 40 cents of every dollar, 40% of this is going directly into advertising on all the platforms. Meta, YouTube, all these platforms, like they're just dumping money into ads to promote the products and services that they're backing. And so this is driving up ad costs, but it's kind of like David versus Goliath. Us small creators, we have an advantage against these people. We have personal brand, which can dramatically bring down the costs of ads. So she talked about like one piece of leverage is building your personal brand and then running ads to the people who have watched your content, because the cost to acquire those customers goes down a lot. I saw this in my own business. For example, we were advertising people to market to for Forward, and the people who were running our ads, the media buyers, were like, hey man, you should get prepared to spend about $10 to $12 per lead for a webinar. And I was like, what do you mean $12? That sounds like kind of expensive, because people may not even show up. And they're like, yeah, that's just what it is for coaches, consultants, people in your space. I ran the ads to people in my audience. I paid $2.60 because I was running to people who already were lukewarm.
Yep.
So my costs can be way lower. So it's like David versus Goliath in this case, but David can win because you have a unique advantage.
I was talking to Layla Hermosi about that. And for all the businesses they work with at acquisition.com, all the businesses that invest in organic content drive down customer acquisition cost massively.
It's not even like half, it's like a quarter or an eighth of the cost.
So if they do organic content well, the best businesses are doing paid media also, but it's driving down CAC in a significant way. All right, let's hit number 3. So If your marketing isn't working, it's probably because your offer sucks. This was Sharon. How do you say his last name?
Shrivastava.
Sharon Srivastava. So fix your offer before you fix the funnel, then test new hooks and tighten your message.
Yeah, you think about like a lead magnet or something you're offering online. Is the thing actually valuable? Like, would people want to go? So, or would they want to download it? And so I think you just need to raise the bar. Like, it used to be just generic stuff worked. We're past that.
Yeah.
People are information overload. Information has been commoditized. Same thing with events. I notice people will sell an event and they'll put up an image of all the speakers. Well, now information's everywhere. They're not like, they don't have this great connection to go see these speakers and because they can watch them all day on YouTube. They're everywhere. And so what's different about it? Well, maybe it's your marketing, the community, maybe you're marketing the energy, how you need to get out of your current environment, get into, like, there's other angles you can take. And so I just think about, like, the thing needs to be actually good. And that's what he talked about. Fix that thing first before you start trying to fix your videos.
You know, the language used about offers is how to create an irresistible offer, or about lead magnets is how to create a irresistible lead magnet. And the truth is that most entrepreneurs' offer is resistible.
Yes.
It actually is resistible. Like, it's very like,
I don't even want it.
Yeah. The idea of, if it's irresistible, just think about the word itself. Like, I don't know. I could take it or leave it.
What
like,
if it sounds like work? Like, I found that one thing I have written down on my thing is don't sell work. Now, I understand what we talk about is hard work. You got to invest in, but in the beginning, the way you market it,
you sell the destination, not the process.
Correct. And so many people are selling the thing. It's like, it's the classic Maui problem. You know, you selling a trip to Maui and you're like, bro, dude, you got to check out the seats on Southwest. You get like 2 bags of peanuts. They even give you a Diet Coke. Like, this is amazing. You should be selling the beach.
Yeah.
And so many people are talking about the thing. Nobody wants the thing. They want the outcome.
Number 4, speed is a feature. Make decisions faster. This was Dan Martell. The fastest executor wins. Use AI, teams, and SOPs to compress timelines.
Yeah. So he has a big team, and some of us might be thinking, well, we don't have the benefit of 10 people to bounce ideas off of, but you can still use AI. You know, I use AI as a thought partner. That's one of my biggest lifts I've seen from AI. So any one person watching this can literally go into ChatGPT. Some of you guys are already using it as a therapist. You know, use it as your business advisor. Start talking to it about it. Use the newest model. Make sure you're using the paid model. The O3 is incredible at bouncing ideas, coming up with frameworks. Just give it a lot of context, and you can start bouncing the ideas, and then you should be able to pull the trigger with confidence quicker. You know, the people I've noticed who are the richest, the most successful, their ability to pull the trigger is fast. Like, sometimes I'll leave a meeting and they've already launched the thing, you know, by the time you got home. It's crazy. Like, from a trip, I've left one of these conferences and somebody came up with an idea live, and then you get home and you see the landing page already launched.
Speed of implementation.
Yes.
So the first 5 was, the category was online business and growth. We have personal brand and identity coming up, social media and content strategy, and mindset and leadership. And we're talking about the top 20 takeaways from your event, Forward Conference, which we'll link up 2026 details in the show notes if you're curious about Neel's event that happens in Las Vegas. But the next one comes from Chris Doe. Your personal brand is not your logo. It's your promise repeated. Define the transformation you offer, then show up consistently in that voice and tone. Break it down.
So you need to be the leader by example. So the best marketing you can have is your own 0 to hero story. You need to be a product of your own advice. People don't like contradiction. And so, like, if you're preaching something, but you're not doing it, like if you were selling health advice and you're out of shape, you know, that's probably not going to fly today. So I think he was talking about just making sure to not only talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Yeah.
And making sure that that's in your content. And you just get way more connection, way more results whenever you do make an offer. Chris is more on the brand side. He doesn't really talk about conversion, but you'll notice that whenever he does make an offer, it converts better because his brand is so strong.
Number 6, you don't have to fake perfection. Your authenticity is your strategy. This is Ryan Leake. And he said, vulnerability is converting better than polish. Let people in behind the scenes.
Yeah. And he talked a lot about, like, asking people, making more connections with people, including your clients, people that could refer you business. And one thing he brought up at the event that stood out was, like, he's like, yo, everybody today says, how's it going? And it's kind of a drive-by, how's it going? Because then you're like, yeah, I'm good. And then you kind of move on. And there's no, like, connection. So he said, why don't you slow down and ask them again? How's it going? They say, great. Or you, like, put your hand on the shoulder. How's it going? And they'll be like, you know what, man, I've been really struggling. Here, I have something I went through. somebody passed. Like, bro,
Yeah.
nobody tells you anything up front. And so he's like, slow down and do this. And I even, I had some shit happen with me where, our family went through something recently. And then I remember like you sent me a text, other people in my network sent me a text.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, anything I can do to help? I'm so sorry to hear this. Like, those are the reasons, those are the people you want to work with, do business with, because they actually care. So he's like, slow down and be intentional with the relationships that you have that you care about, because a lot of people don't say anything.
It's a powerful point. All right.
Yes.
Number 7, design your life around your identity, not your insecurity. So this is Shade. How do you say her last name?
Sade Zarai.
Sade.
Sade, yes.
Zarai.
She came from Australia. She's like a communication expert.
And design your life around your identity, not your insecurity. That hits, man. I wish I was in the room. High performers are shifting from achievement to alignment, and the market rewards clarity.
Yes.
Powerful.
Yeah, she was talking a lot about getting out of your own way. And I was getting texts live, Sean, like as she was speaking, from the women and guys in the group. They were like, man, this is exactly what I need to hear. And so I always think about this. I tell people to do things and they don't do them. And I'm like, oh, these people are lazy. They just they don't want it like I want it, and you just go to that mindset. But like maybe there's a mental block. Maybe there's something you need to work on for yourself so that you could be confident to put this stuff out there. So she talked a lot about breaking through those internal barriers so that way now you can be confident and put yourself out there. And a lot of times it's like you don't align with the thing. And I mean, somebody told me, they took it to the extreme. They're like, bro, I don't want to be in this industry anymore. I want to do something else. I'm like, maybe you should then. Maybe you just got burnt out and you need to get reignited. But like, if you truly don't like what you're doing, you're probably not gonna be able to make content about that.
Yeah.
So if you're not into this, we can tell.
Yeah.
You need to get aligned with what is you're actually interested in.
It's a strong word. Yeah. Being in alignment is a superpower, and being out of alignment, it could be why you're stuck.
Hey, we're about to get back into the podcast in just a second, but I have a question for you. Do you want to grow your personal brand this year? Do you need more leads and sales in your business? If the answer is yes, then right now is the best time to go all in on YouTube. Today's podcast is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com, where you can get on-demand access to a 1-hour deep dive training revealing how to start and grow a profitable YouTube channel this year. For a limited time, you can get access to this on-demand class entirely for free, where you will learn the 3 biggest mistakes that people make when starting a YouTube channel, the new rules and changes that have been happening on YouTube and how you can use them to create an unfair advantage, and the exact strategy we use at Think Media to generate over 350,000 organic views every single day. The data is clear. 70% of viewers claim that YouTube makes them more aware of new brands. So don't wait any longer to start growing your brand and business with YouTube. Just go to thinkmasterclass.com to get access to this no-fluff, highly tactical, free on-demand training. That's thinkmasterclass.com.
Number 8, you cannot build a personal brand without personal convictions. That was Chris Do again. Stand for something. Take a bold stance, even if it polarizes, because attention is earned.
Yes. Like I would take out a list, just start a list in your favorite note app and just write down the things, your isms, the things that you believe. What are your principles and it could be business and personal, and then just start inserting those into the content. I think people take this strategy for granted. Like it's totally underrated. If you would just think about the reasons why people like you, they refer you because of certain reasons. Imagine if 1,000 more people felt that way about you or knew those things about you. What would happen to your business? So all you need to do is make a list of that and then just start intentionally putting them in your content.
Yeah, I mean it's a good first step because you don't have to post it yet. Write down your convictions on paper first. Then it's the next step is to be like, am I going to put out that thing that is maybe a little polarizing, but it is true to myself?
Yeah, there might be things that are like less polarizing. Start there. Just dip your toe.
That's good. So now this is social media and content strategy, and this is cool because we're getting tactical now. So Brian Miller said, short form video is still underpriced, but only if you make it native. Whether that's Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikToks, they need platform native pacing and editing. Basically, don't repurpose lazily.
Yeah, I think I would love to hear your opinion on this. So I think about it as if you don't have the time or the team to do this, just take the clip and put it on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets surprised. It goes viral on TikTok. It didn't hit on Instagram. I don't know why. I never get that deep into it. But my main platform is going to be like IG Reels and then YouTube for long form. But I have noticed that the text the style, the movement of the camera, the people who are super into this, it does vary. Like a YouTube short is different than an Instagram reel. It's a different style. It's super nuanced, by the way.
I would agree that 99% of us, even if we start scaling in content and we have some help, like we're still not going that crazy native. We'll take vertical videos and distribute it everywhere. I would agree with don't repurpose lazily, meaning sometimes it's like if a square video that could have been properly formatted is literally repurposed lazily, or you download a video off one platform and the music is embedded, so it's going to mess with it being uploaded somewhere else because the music wasn't selected. So if you could still use trending audio, if you were to chop up clips in Opus Clip and then go into TikTok, upload it natively, and then you are able to make a thumbnail that has the animated TikTok thing, that is actually taking the time to properly post. It's kind of a hybrid approach.
Yeah.
You're not making like necessarily an entirely original TikTok, but you aren't being lazy by just thinking about platform distinctions, best practices.
Yeah, 100%. So just take the extra few minutes to do that.
Just a couple
minutes. Or have your team do it.
Or have your team do it and get educated. Like, so, maybe some people listening were like, what did I just say? Like talking about these little details. That's why this podcast exists. So if you're new here, definitely subscribe and stick around because we want to help you win with content, win with YouTube. And so this is interesting from Iman. How do I say his last name?
Abu.
Iman Abu said, stories outperform static posts 3-1 in engagement. Tell more, show less.
So I don't know if you've seen this trend on YouTube. If you look up storytelling, there must have been a spike recently. I've seen, millions of views from like one guy's channel. I don't know if you've seen this guy, Callaway.
Yeah.
His most viral content on long form YouTube is storytelling.
Yes.
And then it wasn't just him. I've seen it over and over and over. People really want to become better storytellers. Why? Because it's the best content right now. People like on short form even. You can tell a story in 60 seconds with the B-roll, talk about your journey, talk about your client's journey, talk about whatever it is that you're doing or building. People will rally behind those stories and they'll choose to do business with you because of it. So she founded a platform, this gal, Iman, and she talked about how on their platform, they help people create stories better using AI. So she found that most people are not great at storytelling. So she allows them to dump their kind of rambling on thing into her platform, and it uses AI to turn it into more engagement.
Oh, that's cool.
And she found that those videos are outperforming the standard talking head video.
That's a killer tip too. And so practically, if you're listening to this, you could check out her platform. But one of the coolest things you could do with AI, if you're using ChatGPT or whatever LLM, is turn on the audio feature that's just going to record you.
Correct.
And start talking and tell the story.
Yeah, and it's
then
so easy.
And the final prompt be like, help me clean this up, reorder this, maybe give me some follow-up questions.
Yeah.
And then tell it what the final output is. And can you help me actually tell this in a punchy, attention-grabbing way for a 60-second final output? And so then even if you take 5 minutes to ramble and remember the details, you just having a conversation with AI could help you really design a script. And even if you don't hit your script perfectly, now it's going to have the best storytelling elements.
Yeah, and so the number one way for people to reach more people on social today is going to be to tell better stories. But if you're not good at this, use Claude, okay? I would tell you, like, I've found that Claude is way better at creative writing than ChatGPT for whatever reason. And so I don't know if you had the same experience.
Yes.
But what you want to do is use I don't know if Claude has the audio feature on desktop, but definitely on mobile it does.
It does now. Or I don't know that it does. There is a cool plugin. Okay. I think it's called VoiceWave, and I think it's called VoiceWave GPT, free. Yep. Google Chrome plugin. You hit the little microphone, and if you've got your USB mic, your webcam mic, I was dictating to Claude today.
Yes. And so you want to dictate that long message and just ramble on and ask it to clean it up. And then I would just make this tweak. This will make it crush. Just say, help me make this more emotionally resonant. Like I want it to connect and make the audience feel something, especially if there's something in there that you felt. And then obviously start it with that, with the goal of retaining the viewer. And so when I do this, bro, it changes your story and makes it much more concise and hard hitting.
It's really good. All right, we're still talking about social media tactics. Chris Doe said, every post you make either builds or breaks your positioning. Deep. Don't chase trends blindly. Use every post to reinforce your core expertise.
Yeah, he went deep on that. And it's like next level advice, because some people are like, hey, I'm just trying to be consistent on social media. He's like, well, you should really think about your messaging, who you're speaking to. And so he went through this exercise with me that kind of changed the game for me. He said, Neel, who do you want to speak to with the content at the event? Like, as far as forward goes, who are you targeting? I was like, well, it's like people within this age group, these industries. Usually this is what they want to learn. He's like, no. Who's the person? I'm like, okay, it's like a man or woman. He's like, no. Is it a man or a woman? How old are they? Where do they live? What do they do from 8 to 5 every day? And then how would this event serve that person? And so we got down to the exact person. I even named the guy. I think his name's Johnny, and he lives in San Diego. He's 37 years old. Here's what he does. And here's the person we want to serve. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't serve more than that person, but the messaging becomes so much clearer when you have this dialed in.
Yeah. Every post either builds or breaks your positioning. So that's, in fact, I actually have a playlist. I'll link it up in the show notes on positioning. We called it the battlefield, the battle for views.
Yes.
Based on the book Positioning, classic book. So if you've never studied positioning before, you check out the book, by the way. It's actually crazy how relevant it is for today, even though the second edition came out like right around 2000. But we're talking about positioning. So your brand positioning, your business positioning, but it's a pretty weighty post. I might go a little bit contrarian and say that almost feels like too much pressure for me.
Yeah.
I mean, to feel like it's going to, because I think that could almost lead us to fear.
Yeah. I think the post would bomb. I don't think it breaks you.
Yeah. If you have a bad post or it doesn't really resonate, it also dies off in the algorithm. So don't be too afraid that but I get what he's saying. It's not necessarily adding to what you want to build. Yes. Are you building up the brand, or are you just wasting time or not adding to it, or tearing it down because you're distracted from like your core positioning that you want to build?
Yeah. And just think about doing the small things. Like, for example, what are the ways you could position your brand? One way is just by improving the quality of your content. Like, that's just something simple everybody could do.
The quality, the look, the vibe, the production value.
Just a few things like with audio and video. It speaks. And people will do business with you. I just found that people treat you better when your content looks better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's facts, and people take you more seriously. So that's just one thing that everybody could do. And he's probably saying, well, what if you post a shoddy video with your phone and the lens wasn't clean and you couldn't hear? Well, maybe that had a bad effect on your brand. Like, you went down a notch with the few people who saw that video.
Yep. Got it. All right. 12 is the algorithm rewards consistency, but the audience rewards connection. This is Ryan Leake. So the algorithm rewards consistency, but the audience rewards connection.
So he's always trying to find clips. So Ryan Leake, I actually discovered through our mutual friend, Rory Vaden, who was telling, hey, you got to check out Ryan. And I checked him out like a couple years ago, and he didn't really have any social. All of a sudden, in the last 18 months, he's blown up, and he's just putting out clips. But the clips that go viral make the audience feel something. So I think he's using AI, or his team is, really good at scrubbing the talks. But he has sermons that he does. He has also all these keynotes that he does, because he speaks like even on the day he spoke for us, he spoke in another city that morning. This guy's on the road speaking everywhere. And so he has so much content to go through and scrub through. But they're really finding the best clips. And what he told me was he was kind of surprised that many of the clips that they didn't think would blow up are the ones that got millions of views and brought him all his followers. And so this guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he's at 1 million follows next year, or like in short period of time, just because of how quick he's blown up.
Makes the audience feel something. The algorithm rewards connection.
Correct.
All right. So here's what I want to do for the mindset and leadership for speed. I'm going to hit these ones. If you want to expound on any of them, I'm just going to read them all. This will be 13 through 16, and then we'll land the plane on marketing, sales, and positioning on our 20 tips, biggest takeaways from Forward Conference that can help you have an edge today: social media, online business, your brand. Here's some rapid fire mindset and leadership ones. Sharon said, proximity is a growth hack. Get in the room. Always a solid point. Get to events, get to masterminds, connect with people, actually rub shoulders in person. 14, Sade Zerai said, don't seek balance, seek rhythm. Strong. 15, Clint Pulver said, leadership is not about being right, it's about being real. 16, if you don't deal with burnout proactively, it will deal with you. Brian Miller talking about resilience going into 2026 means managing your nervous system, not just your calendar. A topic I would love to go deep on, but Let's move into the final few: marketing, sales, and positioning. Number 17, people don't buy products, they buy stories about themselves. This was Johnny Cupcakes. What was he talking about?
So he talked about the story of his brand, how he's built like a cult-like following, and the reason why people would wait in line to buy stuff from him. You know, he's selling T-shirts and other tchotchkes and all kinds of stuff. And it was because of the story. So he got really into creativity, really showing his interests, putting the weird, quirky things into his brand. And then as a result, built like a cult-like following. People would literally line down the block down the street just to get one of his new release T-shirts. And it was really cool, the story that he told, which then was like a meta thing because everybody in the audience got so much connection to him because of his story that he talked about on stage. So he's like teaching you the thing while doing the thing.
Yeah. And what does it mean that they buy stories about themselves?
So it's weird. Like people will talk about the story that the best creators will share the story, but the viewer can see themselves in the story. They don't care about your story. They care about their own story. And so he talked about how you can inspire people by sharing these things, but don't make it about yourself. Make it about the way you felt, the adversity you were able to overcome, and then that makes it relatable.
I think that's a light bulb moment for listeners because we tell people that are like, I know I should like tell my story more as from a personal brand standpoint, but then it's like, but the art form is telling your story in such a way that the listener can put themselves in your story.
Yeah, and there's like a weird thing where people have said to me they don't want to share their story because it sounds like they're showing off. And we've all seen the people who are like sharing success and it feels a little cringe. You don't have to be that way. You could make it about the impact you made, the people you served, the lives you changed, all those kinds of things. So you're still sharing success, but at the same time, it's inspirational, not like, look at me.
Yes. And I think the fix I've learned is people will not relate to your success until they've heard about your struggle. So you don't want to be afraid of amplifying your success, but also don't minimize the struggle that you paid to get there, the vulnerability, the pain, the mistakes. And now there's also, not only because it'll connect, but also it's literally a cognitive dissonance people will have if we won't believe it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like Marvel characters, which is a big lesson for entrepreneurs they can learn from Marvel characters, was early on, people couldn't connect with the Marvel character superheroes if they didn't have a weakness.
Yeah.
And early on, DC versus Marvel, there were superheroes that were only super, but they didn't really resonate. And when Marvel broke out, it's when they started to have a weakness into every character. And now all of a sudden, these superheroes, every single one will always have a weakness. And that's why we love these characters. Yes, Superman, but if there was no kryptonite, then Superman wouldn't resonate with us as much. Batman of like, man, look at this guy. He could kick so much butt. Now we're talking DC. But it's like, oh, but he's still human and he could still bleed. And so that, for anybody that's telling a story, of course, you want to lead people to victory, but share your vulnerability along the way.
100%.
Number 18, Christo said this: be the first thought, not the best thought. Top of mind beats top quality if you're forgotten.
Yeah, he just talked about being more consistent and being dominating multiple platforms. You know, like, I don't know what the strategy is. I don't know if you heard this number, but I think it was Dana Priestley who told me 7, 11, 4. You know, and it might have been like one of those things where it's like 7 platforms, 11 pieces of content, 4 different areas.
7-11-4 rule, 7 hours, 11 touch points, 4 platforms.
Yes, that's what it was. And so this is top of mind. And you might think that's overwhelming, but you have to kind of figure this out now because that's actually science from Google. There's a study that was published that said this is how buying decisions are made.
Yep.
And so, you know, when you get to that zero moment of truth, they call it ZMOT. When is somebody going to pull the trigger to buy something from your brand? It's after the 7-11-4.
It's good too. And like with the amount of even information in this podcast and how much work this all sounds like, because it is, I think, you know, keep the vision clear. On the other side of this is following, impact, changing lives, money, 6 figures, 7 figures, multiple 7 figures. This is best practice. This is top 1%. This is the game. This is top 10%, I would say, actually. Like, my big thing lately with things being too saturated is you only have to be in the top 10%. And that's not a new thing. Brian Tracy would always say this. He was like, the top 10% of salespeople, they get the best commissions. They make like 10x to 100x more than everybody else. So I think you also look at it, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm probably not going to be able to compete with Alex Hormozi or Dan Martell or whoever, you know, Patrick David. Like, for sure. I'm not going to compete with Mr. Beast. Yeah, no doubt. But like, you don't got to be in the top 1% or even 2%. If you're in the top 10%, the amount of accolades, prestige, opportunities, money.
Dude, it's life-changing.
And it's not that crowded.
Yes.
It's not that hard to get there. I'm not trying to downplay the work. Yeah. If you get intentional, you put in the work, you're willing to put in the work over time. Just get 9.5. If you're at the bottom of the top 10%, you're going to get.
Yeah, but the other thing that, people they just underestimate is the fact that what takes you hours, days, weeks will eventually take you minutes. Like, for example, today we jumped on this pod. This is like your thing. You do this like brushing your teeth.
Yes.
You hit the intro, we did the thing. Now somebody else might be starting. They might take all day to do what you just did in minutes. One episode.
We spun up this part 2 real time.
Yes. And so think about like, as you get good, the lift becomes a lot easier.
True.
So it's not going to take you as much time to shoot that one video or that one podcast. And then you can get help. Then you can start scaling things up.
Well, as we land the plane, we got a couple more here, and I've got 19 and 20. But Neel, if people want to connect with you, if they want to check out Forward Conference, give a shout out before we hit the final 2 points.
Yeah, so you can DM me on Instagram. It's @NeelHome. Shoot me a DM anytime. I respond to all of them. And then if you ever want to check out our event, go to forwardevent.com. We host this event every year. It launches in the spring, and then it sells out. Been awesome. This is our 6th year coming up.
Yeah, and it is an incredible event. I've got to be there. What's actually cool is, yes, great speakers, incredible information. You're getting a lot of these takeaways here. There's obviously so much more at the event, but the community, the connection, the experience, the physiology and psychology of being in a physical room and how that propels you forward in relationships, in business, it is priceless. And so we'll link everything up in the show notes to check that out. All right, we got 2 more. In the category of marketing, sales, and positioning, 19, the best ad is a great client result with a story. Sharon said that so good. If the only point business owners applied right now was number 1, actually getting client testimonials and client results, and number 2, packaging that and putting it out, it could change your business and start generating sales.
Nothing sells like results. You could just show the proof of the results you're getting. Instead of just talking, show them. So don't just tell people, show them the actual results. And what better way to do that is like from the client's point of view. Now, sometimes clients don't want to get on camera or send you those things, but you can use screenshots of the things they sent. You could do the voiceover with the imagery, and there's so many different creative ways to package it.
You tell their story in a vertical video. If they give you permission, they give you some text. You tell the facts of their story, show some pictures.
Yes.
I think the big block is because people haven't actually taken the time to ask and the due diligence to follow up, to keep asking, to constantly getting referrals. And
Bro, I think something simple is like when you obviously ask for reviews, a lot of people in our industry build their public reviews.
Yeah.
Many times you get a text from a client or a review, and you can just ask them, hey, thank you so much for the review, John. Would you mind if I shared this online? Because I think it would inspire people and help. And dude, no problem. Please share it. Go ahead. Now, the one-off chance they say no, then you're SOL. No, that's fine. Yeah. But like I would say 95% of the time, they're going to be a yes.
Yeah, so good. So the best ad is a great client result with a story, and then chop that up, repackage that, put that across social media, YouTube, weave it into your content. And then 20, everyone is doing funnels, Dan Martell said. Everyone is doing funnels. The winners are doing follow through.
Yes. So right now, the value of a lead generated online has never been lower because people opt in for things and then they kind of forget. I mean, just getting people to a landing page is tough, and then getting them to follow through on that. A lot of times people leave the platform to opt in, then they forget what they were doing. They go back, they don't even finish filling out the form. Mm-hmm. It's like getting tougher and tougher to get people to, hey, hold on a second, stop what you're doing, pay attention. And so the follow through is going to be really important. Like, what is that opt-in sequence? Are you emailing them? Do you have like a drip afterwards of 6 emails? One of the emails is a success story. One of the emails is this. And you're really taking people on a journey after they opt in. And then are you following up? He has a sales team that he's used to scale his coaching business in DMs, and they follow up like crazy. Now, some people would argue it's a little too aggressive, but you can't argue with the results. I think he's crushing it from that standpoint. So you have to find what works for you. But if you're not following up, you're leaving so much money on the table.
And that's a famous quote, is the fortune is in the follow-up.
100%.
And so many people are just focused on top line views. They don't even go one layer deep, let alone multiple layers deep of thinking about follow-up, multiple touch points.
I think about the event. Hardest thing right now, you would agree, to fill live events.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's not easy. It's just become difficult for whatever reason. People aren't as motivated to go. So how do you fill them? You have to follow up. People forget. So I posted about things and I post everywhere. And then someone's like, hey, when is forward again? I'm like, dude, you missed 40 times I talked about this.
Yeah.
They forgot. They don't remember. They might've seen your post, even liked it, but they were in the middle of dropping their kids off and then their mind went elsewhere. They're not going to go to a landing page and buy a ticket. So how do you follow up? So what we do is we show them the stuff multiple times. And then once they've opted in, I was actually seeing the biggest conversion with sending a personal video. It's a one-to-many video. It's not like, hey, Sean. It's just like, hey there. Or, hey, saw you were at the thing, dude. I would really love for you to be there. And let them know, like a personal invite. And so Gary told me this years ago. He said, your biggest advantage in business is going to be scaling the unscalable. What is something unscalable that you figured out a way to scale? You can send out personal videos through DMs and text to follow up with people. And I found that was the biggest conversion piece.
That's strong. Well, these were 20 takeaways from Forward Conference in 2025, and 2026 launches in spring. Details in the show notes. And if you've gotten value out of this Think Media podcast episode, smash like, leave a comment. What was your favorite one? Check out Time Codes and Chapters on the YouTube version and maybe let us know your feedback. And if you're listening on audio, it really does mean the world if you rate, review wherever you listen to the podcast. I know Spotify is sending you massive love over there. Come on, 5-star rating. On Apple, if you leave a text review, really does mean the world. My name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel, and I cannot wait to connect with you in a future episode of the Think Media podcast.